Welcome back everybody. So my hard drives has finally arrived. I went with 5 of the WD Red Plus. These are the ones for NAS, so they are the CMR drives, and I've already installed the guide rails where they're going to slot in. But before we install them for the first time, I'll just recap on the parts that went into this build. So starting off with the motherboard, I went with the ROG Strix B550i Gaming Mini ITX. This is for Ryzen. The power supply, I went with the Corsair 750 series, 750 watt. You can look up this information online if you need more specifications, but it came with tons of cables that I still got a lot of cables left in here. And I went with the AMD Ryzen 7 5700G GPU, which is your graphics that's included in here, so built-in graphics. To go with the hard drives, I bought the Samsung 250 gig 980 Pro PCIe 4 for cache. This is only going to be for a cache drive. And for the RAM, I went with the Corsair it's the 3600 megahertz running 32 gigs. So this one looks pretty nice actually. It's the RGB version. And let me just pause this for a bit. Alright, so let's get these hard drives installed. I'm installing it for the first time because I did not want to do it twice, just for the recording. By the way, while the fan is here, this fan actually sucks air in. I was under the impression it sucks air from the bottom and going out, but due to all of these air vents in the case here, it doesn't really work well from sucking air in from the bottom because of the air vents that's so close to the fan. Because I did try to flip the fan around and suck air out, but it wasn't very powerful enough to suck air out, so I flipped the fan the way it came from the store to blow air directly onto the drives itself. And those who's wondering about the back plane, the back plane is really flimsy, so if you ever break the back plane, you're gonna have to get a power supply to the 5 hard drives, whereas currently, let me just put this down here, whereas currently there's only two power plugs that's powering all 5 drives, and you're gonna have to get the SATA adapters, and you're gonna have to get a extension for the fan to plug the fan directly into the motherboard. And as you can see here, this is the cables in here. It was a bit snug in here. My OS, I've installed 2 drives. One is like a failover drive. It's not really hot swappable because I'll have to pull it out and pull them apart, because I put them together with two-way tape with a 3D printed plastic rails in between it for airflow. And then let me just flip it around. It's actually quite heavy without the drives. Okay, so let's pick this up here. So I have on the front end in the NVMe slot, this is PCIe 4 on the front, but I had to use this for the SATA expansion card. So currently I'm using 3 on the expansion card, and I'm using another 4 on the actual motherboard itself. So I used up everything on the board, And in my previous video, you would have seen that I had an issue with the fan. So I flipped the fan around. For those that haven't seen the previous ones, I flipped the fan around so the RAM fits in perfectly. This piece of steel also comes out, so you can actually pre-build the motherboard first, and then hook everything up and then screw it in. The rear NVMe slot, you can't really see it, is actually PCIe 3, but I popped in my cache drive, which is PCIe 4 in the back, because there was no real space to put it in the front. So let's hook in these hard drives now. Okay, so you will notice, I don't know if you can see it clearly, I'm doing this video in 4K in hopes that you may see a bit more clarity in here. But as you're sliding in these drives, you're gonna hit the cables, so you gotta be very careful, because you don't want to pull the cables as you're going in. Oh, okay, it's very tight. Okay, so it looks like that's in. Let's move on to the next one. You just want to be very gentle. If you feel any sort of tension or something pulling on it, just stop and just check the cables first. Or better yet, plug in the hard drives first and then do your cabling. That's if you have the hard drives already. So feel free to fast forward this video, because I'm not doing any post video editing, so, or 2 times speed this video on YouTube. FYI, that's how I play most of my things on YouTube, because I just want information quickly. And when you know when you know pretty much the basics of things, you don't really need to watch any information in long detail. You just want the final answer, I guess. So that's me anyway. Oh shit, okay, it's really heavy. So I'm going to pop in the case now. What was this? Okay. When you're popping in the case as well, there's this plastic butt inside here. It's like a guide rail. So you're just going to make sure you guide it in correctly. So, okay, sweet. That's in. What was this? Okay, and then all you got to do is you plug in, you screw it tight. And for those that are wondering, let me just flip it over quickly. For those who are wondering if you can put in a GPU in here, like a single slot low profile GPU, it will fit in this case. So all you got to do is, so inside here, yep, I should have shown you this before I put the hard drives in. So in here you have across, you have 16 centimeters across. You have like an extra centimeter if you push the cables in like properly. So you have almost, like, I would say not almost, you have pretty much 17 centimeters from the inside of the case across. You have 2 centimeters in thickness, and you have 7 centimeters like depth. So a low profile GPU will definitely work in here. And the space between the drives for airflow is, I would say it's it's enough. Let me just grab my ruler. So you're looking at roughly I'd say it's about half a centimeter between each drives, which is more than enough. The fan is really powerful anyways, so should be fine. In inches, that's how much it is in inches. It's like 1/4 inch, I would say. We don't use inches here in Australia, so that's for you Americans. So I will plug this in and I will give you the run through of my TrueNAS scale and show you how that's going to go. Don't mind all these little stickers here. I just grabbed them from the ROG Strix like box. It looked a bit plain and bare. I plan to 3D print like a low profile graphics and just put it on here. So that'll look a lot better. First I need to get some glow in the dark 3D filament. So the Jonsbo case, it comes with a L plug because this case is also meant to stand upright if you want to, but I don't plan to stand it upright because I'm a bit scared because all the weight of the hard drive is here, and if I topple the cabinet or bump into a cabinet, I'm afraid I might drop down this case, and there's a lot of premium parts that went into this. So, and also by having a TrueNAS scale or TrueNAS in general, or even Unraid, you could go headless, meaning no screen. All you need is power supply and the Ethernet cable, and you need the IP address of this, and then you pretty much control everything else from any computer that you want. So let's power this on, and I will direct you to my screen now and we'll run through the TrueNAS setup. And if you are running headless and you don't know the IP address, you can look up this information from your modem/router, depends what you have. Sometimes these older ones are an all-in-one combo, but I'm running a Unify Dream machine, so I can easily get my IP address from here. It's coming up as a Mac Pro. Sometimes it's wrong, but all you got to do is just get the IP address from there and you should be good to go. So when you sign into TrueNAS, you are brought to this screen, this dashboard here. It gives you information such as your memory, your CPU usage, your network information. So to create a pool, you just go here, create a pool, and then you select all the drives you want. So I want all my 5 drives. So clearly I can see here that all 5 drives are appearing. So my SATA plane is working perfectly fine. All five drives are appearing. So all you gotta do is just select the drives you want to add to the pool. I'm gonna add a cache here. I'm gonna say cache. So I'm just gonna call this something. So I've gone ahead and called my pool just TrueNAS. It has a naming rule. I'm just hoping I can use caps and lowercase in one. I'm just doing this live, so I'll come back to this and see if there's any issues. So I've chosen RAID Z because I want to have the option to lose one drive, not all. Stripe is when you use all the storage and all the drives, which is not what I want. So RAID Z, I can lose one drive, which is fine. Amazon, I buy all my stuff from Amazon, and they have next day delivery they pretty much have stock always. So it's going to be a very rare issue, a rare case where I would not be able to get a drive in this size. So if one drive fails, you'll have to get one in the same size. So I'm going to go RAID Z. I've got my cache here, my 250 gig cache drive. So that's done. So I'm going to go create now. It says the contents of all the disks will be erased. You can say yes. FYI, if you are using any old drives, it's going to erase all those drives to create the pool. So just keep that in mind. And to recap, why I've chosen TrueNAS was that I purchased all brand new drives. I'm building my machine from scratch. Whereas if you choose to go unRAID, the benefit with unRAID is you can find any random drives you have 3.5 inch, 2.5 inch, 1 gig, 2 gigs, 10 gig, it doesn't matter. You chuck everything in one drive and it'll start to fill up each drive one by one. But it has a redundancy drive, and that drive, I can't remember what term they use, but that drive has to be the largest drive from all your drives. So you can't have a 1 terabyte drive being a recovery drive for like a 10 terabyte drive. So you got to have the largest drive to be your redundant drive. So that's done. So let's go create pool. So far it's creating the pool. I'll just pause this for a bit. Oh, it's actually pretty quick. It's already at 95%. So now we have our file system. It's all up and running. We have available 28 terabytes, which is more than enough for my needs. I don't store that much information anyway. Most of my movies and TV shows, if I need to watch it, I'll watch it once. I'll just erase it. I don't store anything. Plus I got other platforms, Disney, Paramount, plus like 4 other services, so I don't really need to store things long term. This is mainly for files and data and YouTube videos that I'm planning to create. It's all going to be stored here. So I'll go through the menu. One of the things you may want to do with TrueNAS is when you go to system settings, go to general and make sure you change your time zone, because it's so annoying whenever you install a new app. It has the American time zone and you got to change it manually. So just go into your system settings, your general, and change it in here. And that's about all for this video, I would say. Yeah. So you can see the TrueNAS pool is here. If you want to create a I would say like a file or folder, for example, you can go click the 3 dots over here. Oops, let me put that this way here. There you go. You just click the 3 dots here and you just say add data set, and it'll create a data set within here. So I'm going to have plex in here, and then you just go next all the way. I don't think I can use a capital here. I can't remember. Let's see. Okay, so plex is has appeared in the bottom section here. So we have plex, and you just go in and create all of your file systems in here. And under apps, you can go to apps. So you select the pool that you want to install your apps on. I'm just going to say TrueNAS because that's the actual drive it's called. So it's all goes on under one drive. So this is called TrueNAS drive. So I'm going to choose this pool, and it's going to set up all the information in the background. But so far you can see the approved apps from TrueNAS is these ones here. Plus in the catalog, you can go to manage catalog, and you can go to add a catalog, and you can add these apps. It's from the community. It's community built. They tried and tested. I think they open source, so they've been checked. So you can install other platforms here, but there's hundreds of other videos on YouTube to show you that. But my video is just mainly about the Jonsbo case and how I decided to build my NAS and my parts. And your build can be different. You can choose your build for your needs, because I went with a bit more beefier build because I wanted to run various things. I wanted to run operating systems, virtualizations, and all sorts of other OSs. I wanted to try Mac as a virtualized PC, I would say. Yeah, and when you're creating a pool, you just got to make sure you create your local users first, because otherwise the SMB shares will not work. So you got to create your users first. But I think that's all for today. Let me know on this video if you need any more information, and I will make another video. So as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you feel this this video was helpful, and make sure you click the like, so the YouTube algorithms will be like, okay, this is a good video, let's share it with other people. So goodbye for now, and good luck with your build.